Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football, TITTH number 178. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. We got Steve here as usual and a special guest with Austin from the TMSM podcast. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing, Steve?
What's happening, gentlemen?
What's going on? We got a good Thursday night matchup here.
We got a classic Thursday night matchup. We got Bengals and Jaguars. Oh, my. Very excited for it. Got a featuring a couple of first overall picks in Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. I hope we get some fireworks, but I don't know. We'll see. A short week, a couple of young quarterbacks. Got a young coach in Urban Meyer. We got a lot to get into tonight, but glad you guys are doing well. Ready to jump into it. You guys got any big plans for this Sunday?
I'm checking out I'm going to the Bears game, Bears-Lions. So
let's go.
If they lose, I should hopefully see Nagy get fired, or I get to see a win. So should be interesting.
All right. Wait, you know if Fields is starting yet?
What's up?
Is Fields starting?
I think they did the same thing where they haven't announced a quarterback. It's Nagy being Nagy.
All right. Gotcha.
I was told this was the Matt Nagy fan club, and am I in the wrong place?
You're in the wrong place, pal. You're in the wrong place.
I just we've been couch potato on Sunday.
I hear you. That's not a bad place to be. I'll be in front of all my monitors like this. I got an extra one up now because apparently, you can't see us on Twitter, or we can't see the Twitter comments rolling through StreamYard here. So if you are on Twitter and you have any questions, I can see you. Okay, I got it up right here. So be sure to fire away tonight. We are not invisible. We can see your comments and questions. So appreciate everybody jumping in. If you haven't already, please be sure to smash the like button and share the video, and follow us on youtube.com/Take It to the Hizzy. Let's jump into our best bets and props for this evening. I am taking Laviska Shenault for an anytime touchdown, plus 350. What do you guys got?
So I got Jamar Chase over 25.5 longest reception. That's at minus 125. He's hit that in every game this year. And I also have a Joe Mixon first half touchdown, plus 160. I like anytime, just cuts the juice out of it, try and get a plus number there. Sure. I like him to get after it early and often this game.
Cool. I like it. How about you, Austin?
I actually feel like Laviska is probably the best bet to take. The anytime touchdown. It's just like the Bengals defense is great, but I mean, they're going to be slinging the rock. That's exactly what Ben had to do against the Bengals last week, albeit it didn't work. But James Robinson, Laviska probably should reach whatever they need to tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Carlos Hyde's going to be out of this game too. So let's dive into our Monkey Knife Fight props for the evening, because I know there is a bunch of wrong one. There is a bunch of Robinson props that we have up here. So first one up, we've got Tyler Boyd over under 14.5 fantasy points versus James Robinson over under 13.5 fantasy points. I like both of these guys to hit the over. You got T. Higgins out for the Bengals. You got Carlos Hyde out for the Jaguars. What do you guys think?
So I'm going to go Tyler Boyd. I like the over there. You hit on it with T. Higgins being out. His role, he slides up, probably their wide receiver 2 this game. James Robinson, I just got to go the under. I don't think he's getting the opportunity there with Urban Meyer now as the head coach. Last year I would have been all over this over. But yeah, this year I'm going to have to ride with the under.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Austin?
I think Boyd definitely gets it for sure, especially that T's out. It's T and Jamar. It's their show, whatever Mixon. It's close to the point to where Mixon could just run all over this team, and it'll be the Mixon.
Mixon show.
Pick up 14. I feel like Tyler can at least pick up 14.5. In terms of Robinson, we saw what Ben did last Sunday. I mean, I'll just go back to that. He threw to Najee, 14 times? Yeah. So I think that's the only thing the Bengals can really give up is these short flat outs and screens to Robinson. So I think he can break 13.5. So I'll take his over too.
I love where your head is there. The Bengals actually, after that game up against the Steelers, they now lead the league for most targets and catches allowed to the running back position. Obviously, that's a huge number, right? I think Najee had 12 targets, 10 or 11 catches, something ridiculous, right?
Yeah. It might have been like 14.
Something like that. The numbers were crazy high. So you have to take that into consideration. But I think that details a lot about the Bengals defense. They're really just trying to keep opponents in front of them, right? They're not trying to let you burn them down the sidelines or downfield. So I'm not really into DJ Shark tonight, who's been like their really big downfield guy. Only he has about half of his catches on targets. All right, next up, we've got Joe Mixon versus James Robinson again. This is rushing yards. So over under 87.5 for Joe Mixon and over under 52.5 for Robinson.
I'm going to go over for Mixon. Like I said, I think they get after it early and often. Short week, they'll kind of just try and control some of it on the ground. I think he's averaging about like 95, 96 yards, rushing yards a game right now. So you're sitting above that number. So I like the over there. I'm going to go James Robinson, like I said earlier. So I got him on the under on fantasy points. I'm going to go under on rushing yards too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to go with the over just because I think that they'll try to still use Robinson a lot with Carlos Hyde out of the game. Robinson's coming off a 6-catch game, so maybe he does have more receiving yards and rushing yards in this game, but I'm not betting on it. Like James Robinson, he's a very brutal downhill runner. I think he can still get over the 52.5. And same for Mixon because the volume is there. They're letting him rush, 18 to 20 times plus a game. I'm assuming he should get that same volume tonight, so I'll take the over for Mixon as well. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, I think Mixon's the easiest over here. I think he'll easily get triple digits tonight. For Robinson, I'll take the over, but not by a whole lot. I think the receiving yards are going to be there. That'll be very easy for him, but the rushing yards is the scary one. So maybe he's in the 55, 60 range. So I wouldn't bet it like you said, but I think he slightly gets over that.
All right, fair enough. Last one we have up here is Jamar Chase versus Marvin Jones. Jamar Chase over under 72.5 receiving yards and over under 68.5 for Marvin Jones. I will go over for both, I suppose.
Yeah, I got to say that way. Marvin Jones has been a bright spot in that Jags offense for the first 3 weeks. I like both overs here. I do think Chase could be a little close, though. Maybe he puts up like a 75-yard day. So that one I might be watching a little bit more. I like Marvin Jones to get some of these late in the fourth when they're down, something like that. So over for both.
Yeah, I believe Marvin Jones leads the team in catches. He seems like the only receiver there that can really make a contested catch. So I'm definitely going with the over on him. I think he can, find at least like one deep ball, like one play over like 30 or 40 yards, and then clean up some short route stuff. And then Jamar Chase, the dude's just been on fire. Love the connection that he has with JB already. They're lighting it up. He has a touchdown in every game. No T. Higgins, a lot of upside tonight for hitting the over on that number, 72.5. What do you think, Austin? Put a bow on it for us.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is the big play guy. That's an easy 80, 90, 100 yards tonight. Easy over. Marvin Jones, best player, probably the best wide receiver on that team. It's close with everyone else, but I think he can get over 68.5 with one big play, and like you said, clean up with a couple catches here and there. I think again, like with James Robinson's rushing yards, it'll be close, but I think he can get over maybe in like the 75 range.
Okay, sounds good. Let's jump into the actual game preview, going over our Thursday night preview. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming into Cincinnati. Road dogs plus 7.5 on the spread, plus 285 on the money line. Bengals are getting minus 355 on the money line at home. Over under is at 46 points even. I just want to make sure. Yep, that is still up to date. 46 points even, excuse me. I have it pretty simple in this one. Jags are going to cover. They're going to win, and we are going to the under. I do not trust the Jaguars' offense. What do you guys think?
So I like the Bengals. I'm buying this down a point, so I get it at 6.5 because hooks always suck. But that one right there, 7.5. You're looking at a 2-possession game there more than likely. So I'm buying that down a half point just so I got to cover a touchdown. Bengals are sneaky good. I was on them last week versus the Steelers, and I think they do the same here. I'm going to take the over. I think I think because of the teams not being too good, it's lower than normal. And I think you'll just see some sloppy play allowing them to hit the over.
Okay. All right. Austin, what do you think?
I think the Bengals can easily win this game by 2 possessions. Their defense and their offense is, playing really well right now. They're not playing a great team. Trevor's going to turn the ball over probably at least twice. So I would take the Bengals minus 7.5 easily. Give me slightly under 46. I think it's about a 28 to 16 ball game. I think the Jaguars can find the end zone a couple times.
Okay.
But at the point, they're going to run the ball with Mixon a lot, so it's going to be a quick game.
Yeah, I like that. 28-17 is exactly where I was at in my head. So I like where we're thinking there. I like what we're getting at. I don't trust the Jaguars to honestly. 17 seems like a bit much. Like I'm just banking on them hitting a field goal. They're going to be missing Josh Lambo tonight. We were talking about that a little while ago before we got started. Marcus Wright, I think that was the name. I don't know. Some guy named Wright. He's never missed a kick apparently. 4 for 4 in the NFL. I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know if that's going to be a big factor or not. I know the Bengals are going to be missing Bates, Jesse Bates, I believe that's correct. And they are doubtful to have a Wuze, which isn't really, that's not great, missing that much of your secondary, but they're going to have Mike Hilton, Trey Waynes, and Eli Apple. Do I trust those guys? Not necessarily. So I think there's a little bit more upside tonight for the Jags. I just feel like when they get into the red zone, they're going to get in trouble. They're not going to know where to go. They may even get a situation where they're just like, screw it, we don't trust this kicker. Let's go for it on every down. I'm not sure what we're getting into. Rookie coach, rookie QB on a short week. I don't trust the Jags to go to the total here. Let's see. What do you guys think about like any parlays? Like for me, I didn't actually bet the spread. I did Bengals money line and the under. Would you guys do anything like that? Like Steve, do you feel that confident in taking the over with that?
I would even go spread on it and do just like a same game parlay with the over and minus 6.5. Turn that, lose all the juice, and you're probably looking at a low 110, 115 area.
Yeah, I think that would be a good number. And I agree with Austin, man. I think they can win by 2 possessions here. The original line was 4.5. So if you're taking the Bengals at minus 4.5, that was probably like a lock in, like Monday bet for a Thursday game. But obviously, we've given the Jags now 3 more points. So I'm still going in favor of the Bengals. I know they're a little bit beat up, short week, but I'm definitely giving the advantage to the home team and the Bengals. So you guys got anything to add there before we get to our?
Yeah, the Bengals showed on Sunday that they can be without T. Higgins and be just fine. Mixon, had the last year where he disappointed everybody because of his foot, but Mixon's a damn good back. Jamar Chase is really showing out. Joe Burrow's got a cannon. Their defense is doing much better than I think anybody would have thought. I just really like the Bengals right now. I don't know if they're like division champion greats, but this is a huge year for them to make a statement.
No, they're already 1-0 against the division. They beat the Vikings, and they should have beat our Bears. Like they deserve to win that game, in my opinion. Barely beat the Bears. Held the Bears to under 100 passing yards in that game. Under 100 passing yards. I know that's not crazy for a Matt Nagy offense, at least what we've seen in at least the past week, right? But still, like that was really impressive to me. Like when I watched that game, I was like, man, like the Bengals defense is real. Like they've got a good pass rush. They got Trey Hendrickson from the Saints. They've got Sam Hubbard there still. I'm a really big Jesse Bates guy. Like when he popped onto the scene a couple years ago, he was on all my IDP teams. I like him. Good teams win. Great teams cover. Go Bengals. That's been the case since JB came into the league. So. But let's jump into our Thursday night sit or starts. This is sit or start questions, including specific Thursday night players. So looking at Joe Burrow tonight or Ryan Tannehill at the Jets. Ryan Tannehill really turned it on this past week. Which direction would you guys prefer? The Joe Burrow this evening up against the beaten up Jags, or Ryan Tannehill in New York at the Jets?
This is tough just because it seems like Tannehill's going to be without a lot of his weapons in the passing game with Julio out and AJ Brown. Oh man, I'm gonna go Tannehill still though. I think he just gets it done against a really shitty Jets team. Joe Burrow this short week, you could just see him be just a little bit off. So I'll still ride with Tannehill.
Okay, sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
I'm actually really low on Tannehill this week. So
okay.
So Steven mentioned he's without Julio. He's without AJ, most likely. If I look at the Jets
Julio's out of this game?
overall,
Yeah,
possibly. I don't think it's out yet, but Julio Jones questionable is the trend.
I've got problems. I thought it was AJ Brown that was dealing with the injury issue. If both of them are, oh my God.
Yeah. So in terms of, I look at the Jets, they've played Carolina, they played Denver, they played New England, 3 really good defenses. Zach Wilson, this is his first chance to make a statement against, a kind of poor secondary. And I think Ryan Tannehill is just going to hand the ball to Derrick Henry all day long. I think the Jets haven't, I wouldn't say gotten blown out. They've lost 26-0. They've lost like 19. But their defense hasn't looked like giving up 30, 35, 40. Sure. So their defense is still on the okay. Field. Yes.
Well, they're always on the field, though.
That is a distinct problem. But I think it's just that's an Derrick Henry show.
Right. I hear you. I can sympathize with that. I still like JB tonight as well. Honestly, not for any of those reasons, just for how bad the Jaguars defense is. 5th in the league for passing yards allowed, 7th in the league for defensive penalties, 8th in the league for most yards allowed per play. Was it 12th in the league for most first downs allowed? Like, they're just going to allow JB to eat tonight. So I'm going all the way with Burrow for sure over Tannehill. Next one we have up, Trevor Lawrence tonight versus the Bengals. Defense has been pretty solid. Or Jimmy Garoppolo versus Seattle, Swiss cheese defense so far. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he just makes the fewest mistakes out of these two. I think Lawrence is probably good for 2, even 3 interceptions just because he hasn't been that accurate of a passer so far through this. So I like Jimmy Garoppolo just to play safer. Might not have, I don't think you're going to see a 34-point game out of him or anything, but you won't see – you'll just see maybe like 18 range.
Okay, fair enough. Honestly, I kind of like Trevor Lawrence over Jimmy Garoppolo this week only because of the volume. Like, they really let him pass a lot. And Jimmy, man, like, I'm a Jimmy guy. If anyone knows me, they know I'm a Jimmy guy. But they're taking Jimmy out in the red zone for Trey Lance. They're bringing in like special packages for the rookie and stuff like that. Garoppolo gets down to the red zone. He gets a little bit tied up, doesn't know what to do. Lets it loose a little bit too early in the game. I don't know, man. It's a really tough one. I think I'll take Trevor Lawrence just based on the volume. Like, I think he's going to have to pass a lot tonight. I believe they'll be playing down from a couple of possessions. The defense is really bad. Even if he does throw picks, like we've seen quarterbacks throw picks and still have successful weeks in fantasy. So I'm going to go with Lawrence here, just a little bit more upside in my opinion, just to be a gunslinger tonight, hopefully. What do you think, Austin?
What quarterbacks are in the free agency pool?
Good question. That's good. Taylor Heineke. I'll throw him in there. Would you take Taylor Heineke at Atlanta, I believe, over those two guys?
Mm-hmm. I would take Heineke without a.
There you go.
Without a hinge, but in terms if I'm picking between Lawrence and Garoppolo, I have this weird thing that sometimes I feel a little weird about starting Thursday night players because if they do poorly, I have to look at it for 3 days. And it bugs the crap out of me. Now, obviously, I still start my studs. Like, I'm still going to start Joe Mixon. But I think I'm going to go – it's volume versus conservative, right? That's where you're at.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I lean towards volume barely, so I'll take Lawrence.
All in. Let's go. I mean, it's really a toss-up. Like, and when I'm putting these together, these guys are right next to each other in the ranking, so it's not made to be easy. Yeah, I'm going with Trevor Lawrence, a little bit more upside. That's all. But I get it, Steve. Jimmy Garoppolo, very safe, very conservative. Doesn't try to make mistakes, but, man, did he hit Jair Alexander for a home run in that last game. Did you guys see that tweet? Someone's like, man, look at Jimmy find Jair downfield. That is accurate. It's right in the breadbasket. It's terrible. All right. Joe Mixon tonight or Jonathan Taylor at Miami. Miami is feeding opposing running backs fantasy points this year so far. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go Joe Mixon, though. I think he's going up against a defense that's allowed 115 rushing yards a game. He's averaging 95, like I said earlier, a game. I think this just has a chance for him to get multiple touchdowns in this whole thing. So I'm going to go him. I do like Jonathan Taylor's matchup against Miami, obviously. But I think also Naheem Hines will see some work there. So I think Mixon's just a clear cut here.
Yeah, I'm behind it. What do you think, Austin?
I think it's Mixon for me. Mixon's the number one guy in Cincinnati. They're not going to hand the ball off to P. Ryan that much. They're going to throw the ball to Joe Mixon when they feel like it. I was low on Jonathan Taylor coming into the season. Now, granted, I'm a little wrong about that. He's still a great back, but the receptions that he loses to Naheem Hines does hurt his points, despite how great of a back he is. And the Colts offense is really a risk in itself.
It's been pretty interesting over there in Indy. Carson Wentz not doing any favors to the offense right now. Another team that's just really bad in the red zone so far, at least. Decent matchup with Miami, but yeah, I don't trust it. I like the under in that game. Don't even know what the number is. Wentz versus Jacoby Brissett. I'm taking the under. Next up, we've got James Robinson tonight versus Chuba Hubbard at Dallas. I'm going Chuba. I think they're going to feed him. I mean, may not be CMC level numbers, but they're going to feed this guy.
Yeah, I got to stay on brand. I haven't been talking very highly of James Robinson this entire show. So I'm going to stay with that. I think Hubbard, we were talking about volume versus conservative earlier, and I think this is the volume game for Hubbard. We saw Mike Davis slot in there nice last year, and you saw Hubbard when McCaffrey went down last game. I mean, he went in there and made the most of it. We will see some Royce Freeman, but I like the passing game for Hubbard to bring some upside. So I'll ride with him versus Dallas.
Yep, same here. What do you think, Austin?
Chuba Hubbard's easy for me because I love James Robinson. I think he'll also score high tonight. But in terms of Hubbard, look, if you go back to the Monday Night Football game, Miles Sanders and Gainwell, that's his name, had decent runs. Goddard was open down the middle, and Philly just stopped running those plays. They were running the winning plays that they had. Matt Rule's not stupid. If he sees that his running back is open, or if his running back is busting through our line, or his running back's open in the middle, he's going to keep feeding him over and over until Dallas stops it. And Dallas has a problem still stopping the run in certain games. And so I think Chuba does score a little higher than Robinson.
Yeah, Dallas has great linebackers, but that up front group is still a little bit average. You know, it's not necessarily like elite. They're not getting that excellent first push on the offensive line. So I agree there as well. All right, let's move over to the wide receivers. So I did add in Auden Tate here because T. Higgins is out, but it's essentially the top three receivers from both teams. So we'll kind of keep it quick because we got 6 of them, right? First up, Tyler Boyd tonight. Again, no T. Higgins versus Brandon Cooks. Tough matchup this weekend at Buffalo. Which way you guys going?
I like Boyd to actually step up here. I think Brandon Cooks, he does see a lot of work for them, but Davis Mills struggled against the Panthers defense, which is a decent defense. I think Bills will give him a little bit more trouble in Buffalo also. So I got to take Tyler Boyd here.
What do you think, Austin?
I'm also going to take Tyler Boyd. I had the dilemma last week of do I start Justin Jefferson or Terry McLaurin when Washington went against Buffalo. Terry got shut down. Buffalo is going to shut down Brandon Cooks. Is Brandon Cooks is Cooks going to do that thing? If Brandon Cooks, is he going to do the thing where everyone doubts he's going to put up like 25 on Sunday? Like that's just the Brandon Cooks way, isn't it? But still, the matchup's awful. It's still Davis Mills at quarterback. Buffalo should take Cooks out of the game, so I would take Boyd.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Cooks, he loves to run open. Like the routes that he gets, he is always getting that clear space. I don't think Trey White's going to be giving him that cushion this week, so I think he's going to have more of an uphill battle. I want Boyd up against the Jags D, like I just mentioned, for all of those reasons. 5th up against the pass, giving up a lot of penalties, allowing a ton of first downs, a high average yardage per play, like just so much upside tonight against the Jags. All right, next up, this one's a little tougher, I think. Jamar Chase tonight, great matchup, and Mike Williams. I believe that's Monday night in Vegas. They're at home. Regardless, great juicy matchups for both guys. I think I lean Jamar Chase still though. It's really tough for me.
Yeah, this is really tough because the Chargers have kind of unlocked Mike Williams, and I saw overlay of all the routes he's ran this year compared to years past, and they're using him all over the field and in different ways. Where in the previous it was like, all right, fuck it, we'll throw it up to him and he'll catch it.
Run down the sideline, Mike.
Yeah, so I do like Mike Williams this week. I'm going to go Jamar Chase just to have a couple bigger plays. That'll result in him having a 100-yard day, 90-yard day. So I'll ride Chase here as well.
All right, cool. What do you got, Austin?
I think I'm going to go with the number one guy in Chase. I love Mike Williams. He's doing great things this year, but Las Vegas, their defense is also weird. It's been up and down. So do I think they're going to shut down Mike Williams anyway? No, but I think Jamar Chase is going to score more in the end.
Yeah. I actually think Jamar Chase is up for potential 2 touchdowns tonight. They could both go, or one could go to each guy, and Boyd and Chase. I mean, maybe even a random tight end, but I think Chase could find pay dirt twice tonight. Something about him and Justin Burrow, they just absolutely hate all this talk about, can't catch, the drops, it's not going to work. They should have drafted an offensive lineman. They are after this league, Aaron Rodgers level stuff. I absolutely love it. All right,
Burrow
random one here. Yeah, absolutely. Got his guy. Weird one here. Don't know how many people are going to be dealing with this situation, but Auden Tate tonight versus Darius Slayton at New Orleans.
I don't know. This is tough all the way around. I mean, Slayton, he hasn't been practicing, so doesn't even see the field. But I mean, does Auden Tate just kind of, does he get a couple catches, maybe 2 for 24? And does that get the job done for him? I don't know. That's tough. I'll ride Auden Tate, I guess.
Let's go. Auden Tate, big athletic wide receiver. What do you got, Austin?
Yeah, give me Tate too. Not outside the fact, even if Slayton was healthy, New Orleans defense is something else, and they're going to feast on the Giants on Sunday.
Right. Yeah, I would assume so. It's nice to get Darius Slayton into these questions because obviously it's always going to make for a good chuckle and a laugh. He definitely has better stats than Tate so far. If we look at the production, you're like, man, Slayton's not that bad of an option, because Galladay Kenny Galladay and Shepard should probably be getting the really strong coverage. And there might be a little extra space for Slayton. So I'm going to go Slayton. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to say he's going to have himself a little 4 or 5 catch day, gets healthy, finds pay dirt. Let's go. That'll be their only touchdown of the game probably. Only because I own Alvin Kamara this year. That's the only reason why. All right, next up we've got DJ Shark versus Juju Smith-Schuster. So DJ Shark tonight versus Juju Smith-Schuster at Green Bay. I'm going Juju.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I'm going Juju as well. I liked him last week. It was a little disappointing. Only saw about 4 targets. I do like that to increase. Green Bay they really haven't impressed me much defensively in the secondary. You saw even against the Lions, Cephas was able to get some work against them. So I'm going to go Juju here. Deontay might be out. We'll ride with it.
Yeah, I'm just going Juju because Shark sucks. Can't catch a contested ball. It's 7 for 13 on targets. Couple of big plays downfield, but it's literally if you look at his catches, he's wide open. He's not going up and beating anybody. He's not bodying anybody up. This was supposed to be the guy that got a lot stronger this offseason. I'm sorry, put on weight and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not with it. Give me Juju. What do you think, Austin?
It's still close because you just said it. DJ Chark sucks. He's just not that great. I'm not the biggest.
He suck. It's just in this team in this format operationally, it's not a fit. It doesn't work.
Yeah. It's so close, but if Deontay's out, Juju, I feel like is due to break out at some point. And by breakout, I just mean have one big game and then kind of fall off after that. I don't know if it's Green Bay, but I'll keep starting Juju until he gets that big day.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm just going Juju because Shark hasn't shown me enough. I mean, like I said, we shouldn't say he sucks. He's a pretty good football player, but the way that they're using him, it's not gonna fit. To be honest with you, I don't know why Kansas City isn't on the phone trying to grab any one of these guys. I mean, you probably can't get LaVisca, but Marvin Jones, DJ Shark, even James Robinson, KC, why are you calling Josh Gordon? You should be calling Jacksonville with some picks. What the hell? All right, next up, Marvin Jones versus Marquis Brown at Denver. Marvin Jones tonight has had a great start of the season so far. Marquis Brown not looking so bad himself, but he's in Denver. Stiff secondary. Defenses look good for Denver so far, but their opponents have been trash. What do you guys think?
I got to go Marvin Jones here. I was high on Jones going into the season, and I've been riding with him week in and week out. Hollywood has had a surprise turnaround year so far. I just think he draws a really, really tough matchup against Denver's defense, secondary. So I'm going to go Marvin Jones, just consistent. You should see 15 points from him minimum.
Okay. All right. I like it. What do you think, Austin?
I think it's definitely Marvin Jones. I mean, if you get points for drops, you could take Marquis Brown.
He did have a lot in that game. But to be fair, I don't think he had both of his girlfriends in the stands in Detroit. Like, they don't travel well. You know what I mean? Like,
well, when you put it like that, the thing about Denver is, like, yeah, they've played 3 trash teams, but their defense has still shown up in all 3 games. They've done what good teams are supposed to do, and it's destroy the bad teams, make them look really bad. They've done what they're supposed to do, what their schedule gave them. I think Sammy Watkins might find some good slots here and there because Marquis Brown is probably going to get the best coverage of Denver. So I think it's definitely Marvin Jones.
Okay. What do you guys think about starting Rashad Bateman this week? It looks like he's going to be back. I mean, if you're in like a really deep format, maybe a couple guys are hurt, like, would you be willing to put yourself in that situation?
I personally would want to wait, but if the situation arose and like it was do or die, yeah, I mean, I think maybe he gets enough. I do think they'll cut some of his snaps though, just to ease him back in. He's a rookie, everything like that. Doesn't make the best matchup. Sure.
Miles Boykin looks like he's going to be back as well. I just hope that just means, like, you know, Sammy Watkins isn't losing snaps, Brown, Andrews aren't losing snaps, etc. But take that information as you will. Last Jags receiver here, we got Laviska Shenault versus Henry Ruggs. Ruggs going up against the Chargers again on Monday night. I'm going with Laviska. Laviska's had a lot of targets, second on the team in catches. I think tonight's his big breakout game. I think he finds pay dirt, obviously, per my best bet. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I like Ruggs, but I honestly like Renfrow better at this point, so I'm going to go Laviska.
You said you like Renfrow more?
I mean, the Raiders are at the point where they're going to get covered. Like Waller's the number one guy, right? He gets all the attention. We saw what he did to Baltimore on Monday night. And then he hasn't really done much the past 2 weeks because teams have to be like, I got to put 10 guys on this man. So who's the next guy up? And yeah, Ruggs got that big touchdown against Pittsburgh, but Renfro's been there down the middle when Carr has needed him. And that's what the Raiders have needed in terms of they need the other guys to step up when Waller's not there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would be going Laviska over Ruggs for sure. Apparently, there was some talk going on in that locker room that Renfrow is the best receiver on the team. And Henry Ruggs didn't like that, apparently. So that's why supposedly this is all like undocumented, but this is like behind the scenes stuff. Like, oh yeah, well, I had a big game this week because some people were talking, you know, third and Renfrow a little too often. So you're not the only one thinking that, apparently. Even the locker room is thinking third and Renfrow is the best dude on or at least the best pass catcher on the team behind Waller. So I like where your head's at there.
Yeah, I agree with that, honestly, that Renfro's the best guy right there. Just eats up targets. And I'm riding with you guys. Let's go Shenault. I'll put a bow on it.
Let's do it. We got Driscoll in the chat dropping his props. Always with us Thursday, Monday, even Sundays. Mixon, anytime touchdown. Chase, anytime touchdown. Mixon, over 80 rushing yards. Robinson, over 23.5 receiving yards. That one's definitely hitting, Jake. Shark, over 48.5. No, it's not really on brand with this episode, Jake. 48.5. But hey, he could hit it on too. So we're right there with you. I hope that hits, buddy. John Reed's in the chat. Goon up. John Reed. Getting a little brotherly love in the chat. Got to appreciate that. And guys, little advice. Don't start any of these tight ends unless you guys have something to stand on here.
Tim Tebow's still a tight end for the Jags, right?
He's not. Joke. Dang it.
Unreal. So they just traded for and I don't get this. Dan Arnold. They traded for Dan Arnold. And I don't understand what Carolina is doing here. They had the Sam Darnold, Dan Arnold connection, and now they blew it. It's gone. What are they doing? That was like last year we had, Andy Dalton, we had Dalton Schultz, we had Dalton on Dalton action. Then we had, now we had Sam versus Dan, Darnold versus Arnold. I was really upset about that. But with that being said, I'm not starting Dan Arnold tonight or CJ Uzomah. So
hard pass.
Sharks, my underdog guy to watch him contribute a little bit. Yep. Robinson receiving yards moved 2 points, now 26.5. The under, 2 props I like. Robinson over 26.5, minus 110. Like that. Mixon anytime touchdown. Love it. Double up your money on that parlay. Yeah, absolutely do it, sir. Take it to the Hizzy. Let's do it. All right, so we have about 10 minutes here. We're going to jump into some player props. We've already gone over quite a few numbers already, so we'll try to get some fresh ones that we haven't covered yet. And if we have time, we will go into some game props, but I don't know if we're going to be able to. It's getting pretty close here. All right, so let's look at the passing stats or props, excuse me. Joe Burrow, 257.5 passing yards. Trevor Lawrence, 253.5. I'm going the under for Lawrence and the over for Burrow.
Yeah, I'm going the same exact way as you. I actually have a parlay that has Burrow to throw for 250 plus. So I think that 7 yards even hits that. I think he's going to be slinging it to these wide receivers.
Agreed. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward. I think Trevor Lawrence can probably get close to that, maybe 225, 220. Mm-hmm. It really depends how often James Robinson breaks through and pats his stat line, with that Bengals defense keeping them in front of you, should be fine. And then, Burrow's going to be slinging. He should probably easily hit even 300.
Okay. All right. Next up, we've got passing touchdowns. Both quarterbacks are at 1.5. I'm taking the over for Burrow, and I think I'm even taking the over for Lawrence. I think he's going to get one of those like push passes to Shenault. I'm kind of feeling that in the red zone tonight because they're really struggling down there. Maybe they get a little creative and get Shenault a little what I'm talking about, like snap push, those little passes. So I'll take the over for both. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like the over for both. Trevor Lawrence, even with the struggles he's had, he still hit that number before. He just chucks it. So I do like him to hit that. And I like both of them. Throw that in a parlay.
Yeah, paying plus 118 to hit both because Burrow on the over is minus 250. They love it. Lawrence, it's plus money, so you get a little bit of value back. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, I just don't like we talked about. Jaguars may get like 2 scores tonight. I don't think any of them are going to be rushing at all. So if they're going to score 2 touchdowns, it's going to be 2 passing touchdowns for Lawrence. And we know Burrow's already probably going to go off. So I think it's double over easily.
Man, I need it. Burrow's on the Scott Fishbowl team. Need him to keep coming through for me. All right, passing completions, 22.5 for Burrow, 23.5 for Lawrence. How did that happen? Give me the under. Give me the under for Lawrence and Burrow. That's a tough number. 22.5. That's a tough number. I'm going to take the over. That's tough, but it's paying even money both ways. I'm all in on the Bengals burying the Jags tonight, so I'll go with the over for him. Under 23.5 for Lawrence. I don't know how we got a higher number.
Yeah, I'm going the same way. I like the under on Trevor Lawrence. I saw that number sitting at 22.5 earlier, and I still like the under. Burrow, I mean, it's really tight there. I'm not sure. I'll go over as well.
Okay. What do you think, Austin?
I think I'll take the under on both, just due to the fact that I think Mixon's probably going to rush the ball 22 to 25 times.
Yep. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And especially if the Bengals do get up like I'm anticipating, they could just try to park the bus and really kind of turn down the volume a little bit. All right, now we got rushing yards. We already did Robinson. We already did Mixon too. Let's look at the quarterback. So more quarterback props. We got Burrow at 8.5 and Lawrence at 19.5. I haven't really seen Joe Burrow run a lot. I mean, I'm not watching full games, mostly red zone. I mean, have you guys been seeing him taking little short carries? No. It's not like really last season, right?
No. You have seen Trevor Lawrence, though, doing that quite a bit, making plays with his legs at times when all else fails. So I actually like both overs here. 8, you could get just a couple out there. And I really have been hating on QB rushing props all year, and they do keep cashing in a lot of these games that I keep watching.
What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, when I can see Brady run for 20 yards, I feel like I could take the over on these two.
That's funny. Brady was talking up, or no, that was Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers was talking up Jared Goff when he went off for like a 25-yard run or something like that. I was like, oh, hey, look at the guy run. That's great. That's awesome. I need to do that. Hey, man,
don't forget, Brady led the Bucs in rushing on Sunday.
Good God. I wouldn't doubt it. All right, we got Nick in the chat here. Sorry we missed this. He was asking, who won the trade? Elijah Mitchell and a Robert Woods for Nyheim Hines and Jamar Chase. I'm going Hines and Chase on that one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just because Cooper Kupp has been the stud there. I feel like Robert Woods hasn't been bad, but I think Cooper Kupp's the main guy there. And Elijah Mitchell, we don't know what's going on with that 49ers backfield. His shoulder injury, it's tough.
Trey Sermon didn't look that good this week. So, I mean, I think there's more upside for Mitchell when he comes back. But, yeah, that's tough. It's always going to be a split backfield there. Bob Trees, I think he's still in line for like a good year. Like, I think he's going to, start having like really reliable production lines. But it's going to be up and down regardless, no matter what. Like, even if he goes off for a couple of weeks, he can just come right back down the earth the next because they just have, Higbee and Kupp there. Everybody eating targets. Henderson's going to be back. He'll start eating up some targets too. So there's a lot of mouths to feed. What do you think, Austin?
I feel like even if you cut Hines out of this deal, you won just getting Jamar Chase. Like, you just simply can't trust the San Francisco backfield because their legs either don't work or they stand on the sidelines. I love Robert Woods. Like, I have Cooper Kupp in a league, and I'm loving life right now. I love Robert Woods, and he's due to get the volume at some point. I don't know when it is. It could be against Arizona, but, I mean, maybe he should just also start eating breakfast with Matt Stafford.
That's a good idea.
Just saying, but yeah, I think the Jamar Chase and Nyheim Hines wins that trade pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, like you said, I think there are some good weeks coming for Robert Woods, but you're just not really going to know. Like, you get a more reliable start out of Chase. Like, he should be in your lineup every week, even when all the receivers are healthy. So to me, it's just like an easier start. Like, when I'm managing my roster every week, I just know who I'm going to be able to plug in right away. I don't have to think about it. All right, we got a couple of minutes here for the kickoff, about 3 minutes. Let's jump into some receptions to close it down, and then we'll jump into our love-hate for week 4. So CJ Uzama, over under 2.5 catches. The over is paying plus money. The under is paying minus 185.
I'm going to go the over every week. I come here and
let's go.
I bang this drum. Young QBs, it's just their safety blanket. So I'm going to go over.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be fun to take under 2.5 on Uzama? It's not like he's 4-string receiver or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like this close to taking the under. Honestly, because I had Gesicki week 1, I had Trotman week 2, so I know what it's like for tight ends not to get a single reception. So I look at CJ and I'm like, rookies love to sling the rock really far, and tight ends usually don't go really far.
It's true,
but give me the over. If I was betting money, I would take the over.
Let's have fun. DJ Shark, 3.5. Under's paying plus money. He only has 7 catches in 3 games. Yeah. I'll take the under. I'll take the under.
I gotta say the under here.
3.5.
3.5, and he has 7 catches in 3 games.
Oh, the poor boy did nothing wrong.
I know it. I feel bad for him. I really do. I don't hate him.
I mean, he was a huge name going into the year. Everyone loved him.
Yep. Like, he's getting the new quarterback. Oh.
He might get 3 receptions tonight. I'm going to go with 3 receptions, so I'll take the under, but I'm going to go exactly 3 receptions tonight.
Gotcha. We got Driscoll and Chet. He's like, oh, yeah, he's hitting the over. Well, yeah, you have him hitting over 48.5 yards. Of course you have him hitting the over on the catches. Come on now. This one's an easy one for me. Jamar Chase, 5.5. Give me the over.
Yeah, I can't.
I think they'll have it by halftime. They'll have it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like it. Hammer that over.
All right, let's roll with it. You like it, Austin?
T's out. That's it for me. If T was in, I still probably would take it, but maybe not in the first half. But with T out, that's the dude. Plain and simple.
Right. All right, they're about to pull these numbers from me here. So Chenal 4.5, Marvin Jones 5.5, Tyler Boyd 5.5. I'm going to take the over for Chenal, over for Jones. I'm going to take over for all of them. Yeah, give me the over for all. Chenal, Marvin, and Tyler Boyd.
I'm going to go under on Chenal to over on the other two.
Okay.
I think Chenal will probably get a decent amount tonight. So yeah, I'll take the over on all three. The Rock's going to get slung tonight.
Let's go. Let's have some fun with it. All right, we're jumping into our week 4 love-hate. I'm going to kick it off with my love. I love me some David Montgomery this week. Whether Bill Lazar is back calling plays or not, the Bears are really going to have to establish the run up against the Lions. Whether they're using it to try and protect Justin Fields or another quarterback, doesn't matter. I think he's in line for a very big day. When they did play the Bengals were able to shut down the Bears' passing offense, but David Montgomery still kept things rolling, had 123 rushing yards in that game. All about him this week. Absolutely fire up David Montgomery versus Detroit. DFS, props, grab all of it. Who are your guys' loves?
So I got Odell. He came back last week, got 77 yards on 7 or 8 targets. He's going to just be right back in that number 1. I think maybe we do see a better Odell than we've seen in past years with him in Cleveland, just because he's getting comfortable. This team's getting more comfortable, gelling better with each other, trying to make a deep playoff run. So I love him this week. He's going up against Minnesota, who has been horrid against the opposing wide receivers. So I absolutely love the matchup. And then my hate, Robbie Anderson. I mean, come on, man. You've been just garbage. You don't get targets. You just don't provide much aside from a long catch. Actually, I think one of his long catches got called back this year. He just hasn't been much. There's just nothing really there. DJ Moore is the clear-cut number 1 receiver in that offense, and just can't trust him.
I don't know what the deal is with that either. Like, they played with each other in New York, and like I made the joke, like, when they got Darnold, like, oh man, Roby ain't happy about this, this, that, and the other. But I don't get it. Like, maybe there is something there, like that's like personal. I don't know. But Robbie Anderson has like that really like silky route running ability. Like, he can get open. Like, you just got to give him some routes underneath. Like, stop sending him so deep. Kind of similar, like we were talking about Mike Williams from last year. Like, he's just kind of like being used like a one-trick pony. He's not, in my opinion. I think that he should just be running some more creative routes and just be, used, more in the middle of the field, kind of similar to DJ Moore. Like, I feel like they should kind of like go back and forth with the roles of, who's trying to open up the field, who's trying to, clean things up underneath. Seems right now like that's all DJ Moore's role, just collecting all the easy targets from Sam Darnold right now.
I mean, Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore last year, their roles were flipped. They used DJ Moore to take the top off the defense, and they used Robbie over the middle more. And now it's just completely opposite. You saw it in that game against the Texans. DJ Moore had, I don't know, 9 catches. It was crazy. He went nuts.
I hit his prop, the 5.5 by halftime. That was one of the I hit last week. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. Austin, who do you love and who do you hate in week 4?
I love Corey Davis. He gave me, I think, 26-point game week 1 against Carolina Panthers. Bill Belichick took him away in week 2. Denver has a great defense week 3. This is Zach Wilson's time to maybe not win a game. I don't have the Jets beating the Titans in any way whatsoever, but there's not going to be great guys covering Corey Davis, and Zach Wilson is going to look his way every single time. So give me Corey Davis this week. Love to see it.
I love it. I love Corey Davis this week. A revenge game. Who doesn't love a revenge game? We got Corey Davis going to Tennessee. We got Tom TB12 going to New England. I love revenge games. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I love the Corey Davis play.
Man. Important New England.
I didn't like Corey Davis last week. He was on my hate, but hey, that's how we go around here. LaVisca did have that first catch for 10 yards. Let's go. All right, next up. Oh, who do you hate? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I hate DeAndre Hopkins. I know he is in the area of start it and forget. He's that dude. He got drafted super early this year. He's the number one guy in Arizona. But Jalen Ramsey picks one man every single game, and he's going to pick DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre isn't healthy right now. He's banged up a little bit, and I think that's to Jalen's advantage mightily. So I would take everybody else on the Arizona offense, Kirk, Rondale Moore, even AJ Green is a little close, but I can't.
Where did that come from? Where did AJ Green come from? Everybody, what was that all about? That wasn't cool. That wasn't cool. He's not allowed to do that stuff anymore, man. Like, no. I don't get down with that. Like, if Josh Gordon starts doing that, problems, big problems. Me and the Chiefs. I don't like it. I don't like that nonsense. Like, hey, man, that guy's supposed to be terrible. There goes DJ Shark. He's hurt. I'm really sorry, Driscoll. He's laying down. He's hugging the grass. Like, he's putting his face into the dirt. It hurts that bad. I feel for the guy. I hope he's not really. I really hope he's not hurt bad. I know I'm making a joke of it, but that shit sucks. I ain't with that. DeAndre Hopkins, Austin. I gotta start him every week, man.
I don't blame you, especially if you don't have, like, if you're not deep in receiver, then you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna start, I don't know, Cedric Wilson over DeAndre Hopkins, somebody random.
Yeah, right.
He
Exactly.
is that start and forget guy. It's just if you're deep in wide receiver and you're like, oh, do I start DeAndre or do I start X wide receiver? I would start X wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. And then my hate for this week, I'm going Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, bro, where are you at? Like, he's done absolutely nothing since coming into the league. Top 5 pick, tight end hybrid wide receiver. This guy's shown me absolutely nothing. I believe he's going up against the football team. Is that right? I don't have the matchup here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going up against the WFT. Don't trust him at all. To me, right now, Kyle Pitts is a touchdown dependent streaming option at this point. Like, who would you rather start this week, Kyle Pitts or Gronkowski?
Gronk.
Who would you rather start, Kyle Pitts or Tyler Higbee?
Higbee. I am starting Higbee this week, but Higbee.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's very few names that you're going to be able to find anymore that you're just like, oh yeah, absolutely, fire up Kyle Pitts over that guy. Like, I mean, I have Hunter Henry this week, and Gerald Everett just went to COVID, so I would probably start Kyle Pitts over those guys. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, those names are way at the bottom of the tight end list. So definitely fading Kyle Pitts this week. Probably like more so going forward.
Well, especially because he got put in the area of Kelsey and Waller. Like, everyone was like, oh, yeah, he's with Kittle, he's with Kelsey, he's with Waller. And the second he got some targets, like Matty looked his way, but the second he wasn't getting everything, he went right with everybody else, touchdown dependent tight ends.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, this year, he feels like this year's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Is that kind of a stretch or no?
It's fair.
Right? Like, well, everybody and their mother. Yeah, I was just saying, everybody and their mother just grab this guy. Don't be afraid to draft him in the second. Don't be afraid to draft him in the third. It's like, guys, like, he's a rookie. He's still a rookie tight end. Like, we just faded everything that we know about rookie tight ends and just like, yeah, crown the guy. Like, he's going to be the next Kelsey. He's going to be the next Waller. Like, I don't get it.
Well, you know what the biggest problem is that Calvin Ridley still hasn't broken out. Who do you think is going to break out first, Calvin Ridley or Kyle Pitts? Like,
Calvin Ridley, yeah. Calvin
Ridley's got to get fed at some point.
Mm-hmm. No, he hasn't had like that big game just yet, and I'm still waiting on it as well. All right, let's jump into our final sit starts for this week. Let's see, we've got the Jaguars. They just got a first down. I'm not sure where they're at in the field. They'll show me in a second. Looks like they're in scoring territory inside the Bengals 40 to 30. Moving the ball, moving the chains. All right, first up, we've got Taylor Heineke versus Jameis Winston. Heineke and the football team, they've got Atlanta. Winston's got the Giants. I'd say pretty good matchups for both quarterbacks. I think I go Heineke, though. I like what he can do with his legs.
Yeah, I agree. Atlanta, just not very good. I like Heineke, like you said, just get a rushing touchdown. Just need to see a little bit more out of Jameis Winston, throwing for big yardage.
Fair enough. What do you think, Austin?
Winston has the defensive advantage of he can get put in a lot of good spots by his defense, but Taylor does have that huge rushing upside. He should be able to go to Terry whenever he wants this week. So, yeah, I'll take Taylor Heineke.
All right. Sounds like a pretty easy one there. Russ Wilson at San Francisco versus Matt Stafford versus Arizona. That's a toughie.
Yeah, I think if I had to choose in that, I just pray it's a 2 QB league and start them both. But if I can't, I would probably lean Russell Wilson against San Francisco. I think San Francisco's defense is just a little bit more lax. Arizona has looked really, really good. Pass rush has been there. So I would slight lean Russ Wilson.
Okay. What do you think, Austin?
Give me Stafford. I'm not sitting Stafford until he shows me otherwise. He has. It's close in saying that Stafford has a better offense because Russ does have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, but they both got a little banged up against Minnesota. Usually you would say never sit Russ the first 9 weeks, but he hasn't been cooking like he normally would. So it's close. It is really close, but give me Stafford.
Yeah, I'm going with the same. And just I really like what I've seen from Los Angeles so far. Like McVay, Stafford, Cooper Kupp's lighting up my box score. Absolutely love all of it. So I'm going with him. I just never know what to expect from Seattle, to be honest. Like you would assume in that game, like there should be some fireworks, a lot of scoring, but that, I don't know, something about that game just kind of is giving me the hint of game flow. It's going to be slow, a lot of running, a lot of Chris Carson, a lot of those San Francisco running backs. So I'm going to go with higher scoring game potentially with Stafford and Arizona. Next up, we've got Zach Moss versus Houston, Dame Harris versus Tampa Bay, and Antonio Brown at New England. Pick one. I think I'm leaning towards Antonio, who's off of the COVID list.
Yeah, I'm actually going Antonio Brown. I think him and Tom Brady will kind of want to stick it to Belichick for Brown's little stint there, and who knows what relationship that Brady and Belichick still have together. So I could see him having a big game. I'm going to go Antonio Brown. The other two, Zach Moss has just gotten some really lucky touchdowns. Dame Harris draws a tough matchup.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Zach Moss, will get stuff sniped by Devin Singletary. Nobody runs against Tampa Bay. So I think AB is pretty the straightforward pick here of that. He seems like a guy. Like Godwin and Evans are great wide receivers, don't get me wrong. But he just seems to look AB's way every time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely double dipping on the revenge, Steve. Love where your head's at there. Played one game, but they kicked him to the curb. You don't think that left a bad taste in his mouth? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Antonio Brown, pay dirt. Lock it in. Take the prop, DFS, Darwin Fantasy. Love all of it. All right, next up, we've got Kareem Hunt at Minnesota, Myles Gaskin versus Indianapolis, or Corey Davis versus Tennessee. Do you love Corey Davis enough to start him over these two, Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Kareem Hunt because he torched me last week. I was still able to win, but he torched me last week, and it makes me so mad because I expect Chubb to get everything. Kareem breaks this 30-yard run. I'm like, okay, dude. I don't like Myles Gaskin at all. I don't like the way he's being used, especially with Jacoby Brissett at the helm.
Yep.
So, yeah, I love Corey Davis enough to start him over those two.
Okay, sounds good. Steve, what do you think?
I'm going to go Kareem Hunt here. I got burned in X. I had a league where I left him on my bench for no reason. Should have totally had him in a flex spot, and he went off last week. Not going to make the same mistake again. I'm going Kareem Hunt.
Okay, fair enough. That's really tough for me. I have Myles Gaskin, and I'm sitting him on the bench for Nyheim Hines, a running back that's probably going to touch the field less, but I just feel like the matchup is just so much better. Well, they're playing exactly each other, but Gaskin, I don't know what to do, man. I felt like he was going to have a bigger game with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. I thought he was going to catch a lot more passes, and that just wasn't the case. Malcolm Brown's coming in, and he's stealing touches on the field. So, yeah, I guess I lean towards Kareem Hunt because I'm just not a Corey Davis guy. I believe in him this week. I think he could have a good game, but at the same time, like I don't trust the Jets. It's really difficult for me to trust Zach Wilson, rookie quarterback. So I'm gonna go Kareem Hunt as well. Even with Odell there, it seems like he's still got a really defined role. With Landry still going to be hurt this week, so give me Kareem Hunt, but still pretty close between him and Davis. It's really just who finds pay dirt, and honestly, both of them have upside to find it twice. But I just don't trust the Jets. Davis is their guy, but I don't trust Zach Wilson. Let's see. John's in the chat asking, if Julio misses this game, would you start Baker Mayfield over Ryan Tannehill? That's a toughie, man. That's a toughie. Minnesota, I mean, they've been pretty lax in the secondary. So what do you guys think about that?
I would start Baker over him.
Okay.
Especially with Julio and AJ Brown being out, I would go Baker.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's tough for me.
I would go Baker too, because even if Julio didn't miss the game, I talked about earlier how I think it's just going to be the Derrick Henry show, because that's what the Tennessee Titans do, is they just control the clock. And, I think Zach Wilson will score a couple touchdowns, but give the ball to Derrick Henry. I think Cleveland and Minnesota score a lot of points.
All right. Fair enough. I'm still going to go Tannehill. I just think he's a better quarterback. I'm just keeping it simple. Just going with my gut. I never trust Baker. Ever. All right. Deebo Samuel versus Seattle. Mike Evans at New England, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire at Philadelphia, at the Birds. What do you guys think? I like Deebo.
I'm stuck between Deebo and Edwards-Helaire. He actually had a good game last week. I'll go Edwards-Helaire.
All right. What do you think, Austin?
I'm in the same spot as Steve. I love Deebo because he's been torching people this year. Zeke made Philly look kind of stupid. He just kind of ran all over them for the most part. And they've been giving CEH the ball enough for me to like him to an extent. I feel like KC is going to absolutely annihilate the Eagles. So give me CEH. It's stupid close.
Yeah, I can see that. And believe me, I'm right there with you. Kansas City, they got to be pissed off. All this media dogging them. Hey, Mahomes, quit with the theatrics, all right? Quit with the ad-libbing, all right? Everybody else, get open. No one in Kansas City is really appreciative of the media right now. So I'm right there with you. I think they're coming for a statement game. But I'm still going Deebo. Been one of the better receivers in the league to date, at least so far this year. Let's see. I know it's not pretty, but that would have been my only option, right? We talk referring to Baker and Tannehill. Yeah, I hear you, man. And sometimes you just got to roll with that. If Baker's all you got, if free agency's locked up, then that's what you got to do. But I don't know. I might start a kicker over Baker. I don't know. I'm that guy. All right, Adam Thielen versus Cleveland, Robert Woods versus Arizona, or Odell Beckham Jr. at Minnesota. This is a good one, I think. I think I still go with Thielen.
Odell was my love this week. I got to stick with it. Draws a great matchup against Minnesota. And he saw plenty of targets last week. I like it to continue.
All right, fair enough. Austin?
Thielen, Kirk Cousins loves Thielen in the red zone. I don't know. Love Odell, and Odell is going to be the only guy on that offense for the most part, besides obviously the running backs. But I'll still go with Thielen just because his touchdown upside is so big. Oh,
yeah. And we all got a Thielen. Always. John saying need some Boyd tonight. Boyd just had a big play. And by the way, it was a great play call. Like that was like a textbook Zach Taylor type of play call. Very easy route, misdirection, got Tyler Boyd in motion, got him down the sideline in space. It was beautiful. Joe Burrow, 2 for 3, 31 yards, 3rd down and 12. Pass. It is complete, in bounds. Let's go. Jamar Chase with the catch. We're moving the chains. Let's roll. All right. Last couple of flex questions we got here. We got a couple of tight ends. Rob Gronkowski versus Tyler Higbee. A couple of names we already brought up already. Which way you guys going?
I'm going Higbee. In the games that the Rams have looked best, he saw 5 or more targets, 5 catches on those. So I like his upside here. I think Belichick will be able to scheme a little bit against Gronkowski, not making it a very great matchup.
All right. Love it. What do you think, Austin?
Oh, man. I have Tyler Higbee in the league. But the thing with Higbee is it's not a talent problem. It's a volume problem. Tyler Higbee's a great player, but he just doesn't get the looks that Stafford gives everybody else. I would have to trust Gronk. I would have to trust Gronk because Tampa Bay should absolutely slaughter New England. And I would trust Gronk to get at least one of those touchdowns.
More revenge. Can't have enough. What do you think, Steve?
Are we on Goddard and Dalton Schultz?
No, we're on Gronkowski and Higbee. That's the next one.
Oh, yeah, I'm going Higbee. Like I said, it just has good value.
You already picked
Every
it.
time, yeah.
I
was like, wait a minute, did we move on?
It's my turn to pick. What am I doing? No, it's my fault. It's been a weird day, pal. No, I'm gonna go Higbee as well. I like the revenge game, but I just see Tom distributing the ball. Already mentioned Antonio Brown's going to be back. I think there will be a few less targets for Gronkowski, and he's just going to be touchdown dependent, red zone usage quite a bit. So I'm going with Higbee there. My bad. All right, next up, Dalton Schultz versus Dallas Goddard, and I'll clear that right away. I'm going Dalton. Dalton Schultz is taking off. I'm absolutely loving it. I got him in my Scott Fishbowl league. Absolutely faded the tight end position. Schultz looked really good last week. I know like the matchup wasn't great for Cooper and Lamb, but I'm still trusting him. It's a great offense to be involved in. I'm going with Schultz.
I'm going to go with Schultz as well. He did look very good last week. Goddard, though, has looked great. It's really, I mean, this one I just slightly lean Schultz here more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I love Schultz. I'm a Cowboys fan. Love him to death. But I think the middle is going to be very stuffed with Carolina. Carolina has a very, very good linebacking core. It's going to be a tough game for Dallas to win, let alone put up points. I feel like Philly will get the ball a lot because they're going to get scored on a lot, so give me Goddard.
Okay, fair enough. I'm starting Goddard, so I hope he has a comeback week. But, man, last week just did not leave a good taste in my mouth. Back shoulder throw to Chase.
That's the Sirianni effect for you. He was open in the seam all night long. I was watching it like, man, if Philly just keeps throwing it down the middle, we can't do anything about it. And they just
I got a problem with Nick Sirianni, okay? My best bet the other night was rushing touchdown or anytime touchdown from Kenny Gainwell. He decides to use Kenny Gainwell exclusively in the red zone and then doesn't give him any goddamn carries in the red zone. What is that, Nick Sirianni? Come on, pal. What are you doing? That's not cool, man. Like messing with my money here. I don't know. They gave him a rushing attempt in the red zone week 1. I was like, oh, it sounds like they're using him in the red zone. I'm going to take this prop tonight. And then I'm looking like right behind his head. The camera is literally like saying just Gainwell hurts. Gainwell hurts. Let's pass it on first down. Whatever. What? No big deal. No big deal. All right. Well, that is the show, gentlemen. It looks like we're about to get our first scoring drive here. Joe Burrow, 5 for 6. We're at 3rd and 18. A little screen pass to Tyler Boyd. I think we're going to be in field goal position. I think we're going to score some points here, but I'm liking the under tonight. I still like the Bengals to cover the spread. You guys got anything to add before we head out?
Bear down this week.
Oh, don't let Fields die. Please let him live. Let him live. He doesn't deserve Matt Nagy, okay? Doesn't deserve it. How about you, Austin? Anything you'd like to plug for the brand? Anything that you're working on?
Me, myself, and my co-host Devin, we are the Makeshift Managers podcast. You were with us for our AFC North preview, so we appreciate that time that you spent with us. That was a lot of fun. We drop recaps every Tuesday. We drop predictions every Thursday morning. That's us right now. I mean, baseball playoffs are starting. NBA's coming up. The NFL is a hot topic. So we're here every week, right with you guys. I see you guys all the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love sharing your stuff. Appreciate you guys sharing ours. Definitely have to have you back for some basketball. Steve and one of our other co-hosts run basketball weekly during the season. So definitely be a pleasure to have you back. And I certainly, love the time that we had working on your podcast together. I had a handful of guys talking some AFC North, so that was awesome. And we got a nice little AFC North Bengals team tonight showing up for us. So should be a good show. I really appreciate you coming on. More than welcome anytime. Austin filled in for somebody tonight. We were expecting somebody else, and Austin stepped up and filled in for us. So we really appreciate you on short notice as well. You guys take care, everybody that watched with us. Please be sure to smash the like button, share the video, and follow us on youtube.com. Take care. Be well. Be good. If you can't be good, be good at it. We'll see you.